Alright, so Man United are playing like trash right now. They spent 60 mil on Mason Mount just for him to suck. They got a $100 million fidget spinner on the right side just doing cardio all game. And the best passer on the team is playing goalie. So today we're gonna fix that. I got the team set up in a 4-3-3. Rashford, Martial, Anthony up top. Fernandes, Eriksen, Casemiro midfield. Shaw, Martinez, Varane, and Dalot back four. And Andre Onana in between the sticks. And I immediately knew that I wanted to get a new striker. Cause like I know they just signed Rasmus Højlund in real life. But dude is 73 overall in the game. Like if he starts, we are crucified. So I went and got the Canadian Jonathan David for 55 mil. Then after moving on some deadwood such as the mobile refrigerator, I realized I needed a new CB for some depth. So for that I went and got the versatile Benjamin Pavard for a decent little 40 mil. And finally our backup goalie was a man whose last good season was 5 years ago. So I went and snapped up the youngster Yvan Diouf for a cool 19 mil. In the first 10 games of the season, Jonathan David announced his arrival, you know what I'm saying, getting off to a flying start and leading us to second place. Then we had some tougher games, you know, Spurs with their voodoo magic, Man City with their cyborg, but halfway through the season we were still in second. We made the Carabao final after that where Chelsea, like, y'all might have spent the entire GDP of Denmark on transfers, but get yourself out of here, first trophy of the video. And that was good momentum for the rest of the season as we put in some solid performances and ended up finishing fourth with 77 points. Jonathan David, as I said, did well, 30 goals, 11 assists, absolutely brilliant first season, much better than Anthony Martial made out of glass type body. Yvan Diouf, I mean, he was a backup, so nothing much here. 2 appearances, went up to 77. But Benjamin Pavard, a backup too, but he played hella games, 51 appearances, 3 goals, 1 assist, went up to 83. Very nice pickup, man. In the FA Cup, we were upset in the quarters by Villa, and in the Europa League, we came close but got clipped in the final by Dortmund. And here's the squad end of season 1. Like, happy with the performance, you know, trophy and Champions League qualification, but next season we're gonna try for more. First signing I wanted to make was a new center midfielder. I love you, Christian, but you 31 years old. Like, your career going in the same direction as your hairline. And I also just wanted somebody more well-rounded, so I got the Dutchman Teun Koopmeiners for a pretty cheap 41 mil. Next, I targeted a backup right winger to Anthony because we just didn't really have one. And the man for that was 25-year-old Romain Faure, who I spent 30 mil to snag. Then finally, to clear up the squad, I had sold the big boy Scott, so we needed a new CDM now. I had wanted somebody more dynamic anyway, and that guy was to be Douglas Luiz, who came in for another good deal, 27.5 mil. The start of the season wasn't as good this time as we got Arsenal, Chelsea, and City as our first 3 games. Like what kind of rigged Lucas Paqueta gambling scandal type blasphemy is this? We were an embarrassing 9th after the first 10 games, but we picked it up after that, you know, like they had no more good teams to throw at us anymore, so we went on a good run, 3rd at the halfway. In the Champions League, we did alright, you know, like round of 16 just bodied Porto, but unfortunately in the quarterfinals we got Real Madrid, and yeah, we didn't have the facilities, bro. But FA Cup, we made the final, and against Arsenal, it was a tight little game as we traded a couple goals, but ultimately it was the fidget spinner getting the winning goal and claiming our second trophy in 2 seasons. We ended up finishing 4th in the league again, kind of disappointing, but hey, it is what it is. Teun Koopmeiners honestly wasn't that impactful, 33 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, only up 1 to 83, but hey, I don't know, maybe he's like Draymond Green, you know, like not a stat sheet stuffer, you feel me? Douglas Luiz did even less, but I mean, you know, he got one of the greatest of all time in front of him. 10 games, goose eggs, went up to 81. 5, like, also literally nothing to say, man. Like, I forgot to change his position, so yeah, my fault. He is 80 now though. And for the whole squad, Rashford was a golden boy, 31-15. David a close second, 26-12. Then Fernandes 18-9, Anthony 15-4. We lost in the Carabao final this time also, if anyone cares. And yeah, here's the squad in the season 2. Pretty sad, I'ma be real. Like, the signings were very mid. The performance also mid, so I'm looking to make a splash and make season 3 better. At this point, I felt the attack was cool, midfield pretty cool, but the defense, maybe that's where we was lacking. And the weak point of that was the left back Luke Shaw, so I went big and mortgaged hella funds on Nuno Mendes, who cost a whopping 75 mil. Then because I spent that much money, I only decided to make one more signing, which was a backup left-sided center back. Pavard has been sick as a depth option, but other than that, we just had Eric Bailly volatile self. So I brought in an unassuming little signing, Moussa Niakite from Forest for a slight 18 mil. The newly bolstered defense helped us get off to a beautiful start this time round, just dispatching these fools across the United Kingdom, and we were third in the league after 10 games, only a point away from first. And there was no stopping us. Like, they tried to put City and Liverpool back to back to nerf us, but nah, we clipped them both and grabbed first place by 7 points going into the new year. Unfortunately, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows though, as after a pretty solid Champions League run in the semifinals, we fell just short of beating Dortmund. However, we used that European disappointment to fuel our end of the season charge, and ultimately we brought the Red Devils back to the top after over a decade of drought. It was complete domination by us in the league, man. Made the other 19 our children for real. 11 points clear up top, only lost 1 game all season. Nuno Mendes was well worth all the money. 46 games played, 2 goals, 4 assists, went up to 86 overall, one of the best left backs in the world. And Niakite got his little runs as well, 7 games, nothing in the stat sheet, but you know, it's cool, it's cool. For the whole squad, Jonathan David, absolute superstars, 32 goals, 16 assists. Then Bruno had himself a nice one, 23-8. Rashford a little low because he got injured, 17-6. Anthony 12-5. Not as good luck in the cups this time. FA Cup quarterfinal loss to Chelsea and Carabao Cup round of 16 to Everton. But as we look at the squad into season 3, I'm very satisfied, you know. United back to the top of the food chain, and the goal for the final season is to win the Champions League. The squad was not one of the best in the world, but there were still 2 positions I wanted to replace with some next level superstars. First was gonna be Eriksen again. Like, after I bought Coop Miners, Christian took it personal, you feel, and just had a career renaissance. But now he actually started regressing, so I bought in big dog number 1, Orkan Koçku, for a monumental 93 mil. Then I looked to Rafael Varane, one of the best CBs of his generation, but 32 years old now, man. It is time, it's time. And the man to fill those massive pair of shoes was another Frenchman, Robin Lenormand, who cost a lot of money, 87.5 mil. We're going quick as hell this time. Here's some games, we won a lot of them, scored a lot of goals and stuff, and at the halfway we were in first place again, 10-point gap. And in the early rounds of the Champions League, we took care of our business, you know, got revenge against Dortmund, and quarters against Inter Milan were easy meat as well. And then in the semis, we got Liverpool, who, you know, not as easy, but over the 2 legs, our OG superstars Anthony, David, and Fernandes all scored one to send us through to the final. And in that final against the Blues of London, after a cagey first half of chances and 1 goal for each side, it was the signing that started it all who bagged the winning goal and pushed us to the pinnacle. The league was ours again, and by an even bigger margin this time, 19 points clear. I actually feel bad now, you know. Lenormand didn't really have a good first season, only 27 games played, goose eggs on the stats, but he did break his ankle, you know, so it's not his fault. But Orkan Koçku was a very good get, man. 50 games played, 3 goals, 5 assists, didn't go up in rating, but in game he's good. He's good, like, I recommend. And for the overall squad, Bruno Fernandes, one of the best seasons of all time, 42 goals, 19 assists. Then David, also amazing, 34-12. Anthony, 21-6. Rashford, 17-8. Just a brilliant front four. In the FA Cup, we boxed West Brom to win 3-0, and Carabao, we got one over our neighbors. So yes, we hit a quadruple, man. We hit a quad. Here's the final starting 11, 6 90+ overalls, and the lowest rated being 86. Just insane squad. And also just want to shout out Diogo Dalot at a 90, and that's gonna be about it. Nice little journey back to the summit. Got a trophy every year, but their importance rose chronologically. 7 in total, only 1 real flop signing as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did. Comment, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.